Good morning, everyone. I'm Dan Robinson. I'm the Director of Media Ministries here at St. Paul's, and I want to welcome you all here to our Adult Formation Hour. In preparation for our new rector, Evan, who we're very excited about, the staff made the decision to take the opportunity in the month of July to highlight ministries over the course of the next couple of weeks. So you will be able to hear from lots of different people. St. Paul's has over 60 outreach ministries constantly, and we have new ones popping up and we have other ones cycling out. We've got lots of great stuff happening. We really love being a church that does, and we do that through our ministries. And there's a wonderful mentality here at St. Paul's, which is that if you have a ministry that you feel called to and you see that not happening, you can bring that to the staff at St. Paul's and say, I want to do this. And we pride ourselves in supporting ministries and helping ministries grow. So today, we have 3 ministries that will be sharing with you about what you do, and the goal here is to help you understand what they do, and if something that they're doing resonates with you, we want to get you connected with ministries that speak to you, and so you can help us make that work happen. So we're going to start off today with Doug, who is representing the Tippy McMichael Lecture Series Committee.
Hi. How many of you have heard one of our Tippy lectures? Oh, God bless you all. I'm the chairman of the committee now. I've sort of inherited it as I hung in there. And our committee has dwindled in size for all kinds of good reasons. And so we will be rebuilding the Tippy McMichael Committee this year. And this is also because we're going to have a new rector. And I'm hoping that he will be our first speaker and can say things that Tippy McMichael, to a lot of people who come to that, are not members of our church and won't have to deal with theological issues and can deal with what some of his goals for our church are going to be that he wouldn't say in a sermon. I don't know that's true. I haven't spoken to him about it, but I will as soon as he gets here. But we're also looking for people who are interested in putting together these talks or inviting people to come speak. And whether you're a member of the committee or somebody who just wants to bring something to the committee because you know of somebody who's available to speak, then let me know or tell it to Megan, who's in the office, and she'll tell me. Megan's a good follow-through. And our meetings will start in August sometime. We haven't set them. We have met in the past on Tuesday afternoons at 1 o'clock, but we can change our committee meetings to any time it's convenient for the committee. And we basically have a specific goal, and that is to get speakers here. We've been able to have significant speakers of national reputation, and we've been able to have wonderful speakers of a very small reputation. So this is a part of a ministry to people who are looking for different ways of thinking about what we do here. So I encourage you, if you think you would like to serve on this committee, either as one of the people that help put the buffets up or attracting important speakers for theological, political, racial, whatever ideas you think are important, contact us. And we will be meeting in August, and we will have somebody in the fall speaking. Do you have any questions of me? Well, I have another ministry I have to go do right now, and that's the choir. And we'll talk about that another time, but I'm going to go sing right now.
Thank you, Doug. The Tippy McMichael Lecture Series is called the Tippy McMichael Lecture Series because Tippy McMichael left an endowment, $1.5 million endowment that supports this ministry. And so this is, at every Tippy lecture, Lowell takes the opportunity to remind you that if you remember the church in your will, you can have a legacy for many, many years to come supporting a ministry that you believe in. So it's a wonderful thing. Those Tippy McMichael lectures are sometimes edgy. We hear some stuff that is, it's like, whoa, did they just say that? So if you have not plugged into Tippy McMichael lectures, you can go to our YouTube channel and see the ones that we've had from the last year. You can take a look at what one of those looks like and then come join us as we do those. Up next, I have Peter with the Caring Friends, with Caring Friends.
Good morning. I am Peter Scapa. I'm one of the assistant director as a ministry here called Caring Friends. And we basically provide a respite for caregivers that have loved ones with dementia or some form of Alzheimer's. We've been in existence for about 7 years. We just celebrated our 7th anniversary. And it is a very loving and caring ministry that's going strong, largely because we know if you are a caregiver or you know somebody who is a caregiver, getting 4 hours of respite, which we give them on Thursdays from 10 to 2, is precious time that they just need to rest. Being a caregiver is a labor of love, and it's also extremely stressful. So any time we can give them is time that's precious to those caregivers, and we give them those 4 hours. And it has benefit to everyone, not just the caregiver. Obviously, the loved ones, who we call friends, benefit from being in community. Alzheimer's can be a very isolating disease, and this allows them to be among friends that are in a loving, safe, secure environment. And the volunteers, we have at any time about 20 volunteers. They all come from various walks of life. Most of them are retired, teachers, educators, doctors, speech therapists. We get interns from the university, the nursing program, and the social work program. It's really a beautiful group of people that have something to give back, and this is a way that they can give back. So they stay with the program. Many of the folks have been with us right from the beginning. It's pretty easy to get into the program. First of all, contact me or the church, and they'll get to me. I will call you, and we'll talk about some of the minimum requirements for the program. One, obviously, is that your loved one have Alzheimer's or some form of dementia. 2 is that they can handle their own bathroom needs. 3, that they can take their own prescription drugs, which they usually work out to before or after we meet. The next one is that they can play nice with others. We're in a group, and it's a community, and it's a safe environment, and we like to keep it that way. And lastly, that on the first day that they bring their loved one, the caregivers stay with us that whole day, so we just see how their loved one does. And their loved one feels more secure with their being with family there. So that is pretty much it. If I have an issue with the medication or any of those issues, we do have a nurse who's actually our director, Catherine Lyons, and she will come in and interview and talk more specifically to anything that's a concern. But that's pretty much it. If we can get, the caregiver can get that loved one to get here and sit down with the group, the retention rate is extremely high. But that's always a difficult move. I would say half the people that I talk to make it and half of them don't. We can max out at about 12 folks. That's by state law, we can have about 12 people here. But we do have some openings right now. So if you know somebody who's a caregiver and needs some respite, please contact me or contact the church, and they'll get in touch with me, and I'd love to talk to them. If you want to volunteer, again, the same process, call through the church or get in touch with me, and we'll work out something for you to get involved and have a small interview. If you want to help in the kitchen, a part of our schedule every Thursday is that we serve lunch at 12 to 1. So we have a wonderful group of ladies and some gentlemen that help out in the kitchen, both cooking and serving. So there's many ways to serve in this ministry. A typical day for us will be, as I said, Thursdays. At about 20 to 10, our volunteers will start coming in, getting coffee, and just getting acquainted again with each other. Then the friends will start coming in with their caregivers. And then we'll all mingle at the round tables. We do it right in here, having coffee and just getting to know each other and catching up on the week. They make friends. They make life connections. They love seeing each other. And this is why everybody keeps coming and why all 3 aspects of their relationship are so important. I assign people to friends based on their like interests, based on their personalities, and it may be just based on them making a connection soul to soul. 2 people just find each other, and you'd never think they'd come together. I've had a 50-year-old gentleman that connected with an 85-year-old little lady. And they loved each other to death. They connected every single week, and it was just a beautiful thing to see. So those types of things happen almost every week. At 10 o'clock, we come in here, we put chairs in a circle, and we do some light exercise to music. And music, if you know anything about Alzheimer's, is a great way to connect with folks. It seems to bring them back to a very positive, happy place in their life, and they tend to come alive with music. Then we'll do some other games like a little balloon volleyball again to music, rocking out to the oldies. And then we'll break up in groups. Some people play dominoes, some people color, some people maybe want to watch a movie. We'll do that in the morning. Then we have lunch, as I said, from 12 to 1. And then in the afternoon, we might do bingo or something else. But generally speaking, we try to keep them in groups of 4 or 5 so they can, again, make that community, make that connection, that human touch, because they are so isolated most of their days. And then the caregivers pick them up at 2 o'clock. We do keep them restricted to this room, or if they want to wander with guidance, they can go as far as the office out there. But our volunteers are responsible for the safety of that friend, that loved one. So that's a significant role that they have to play to make sure that everybody's safe and secure in a non-stress-free environment. So that's it. Does anybody have a question or anything they're curious about? If you have any interest, I have some forms up front, both for getting into the program as a volunteer, as well as if you're a loved one. So thank you for your attention. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. You mentioned lots of ways that people can get involved. Is there a specific need that you guys have at this time? Do you feel like you have enough resources?
Right now, actually, we need more friends, because we have 7 friends right now, and as I mentioned, we could get as many as 12. So I know there's a need out there in this community. I know there are people that need some rest. So if you know somebody, please have them contact me through the office up front. And we need people in the kitchen. We need cooks, and we need people that just generally help serve and clean up afterwards, that type of thing. So there's always a need, and we appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your ministry. And then lastly this morning, we have Jackie with Eucharistic readings.
That's part of it. First of all, if you see people, this is an outreach to people in the services, but it's also a benefit to those of us who serve. When you look up around the altar and you see people with blue robes and white tops on, that's the choir. If they have on a black cassock, which opens up all the way down the front, and a white surplice without a stole, because this is what the priests wear when they're not doing Eucharist, but they have a stole. But if it's just this, then they're a Eucharistic minister, lector. There are several terms, and it gets a little confusing. Lector is someone who reads. Eucharistic minister is someone who administers the wine, or sometimes even the bread if we're short on priests. So you have Eucharist. I'm not used to a microphone. You have Eucharistic ministers and you have lectors. Chalice bearers are actually Eucharistic ministers. So you have, sometimes the person that reads is called a litanist, but really the main ones are Eucharistic minister and lector. So those are the vestments that we wear. We have a stock of them in the back. They will fit almost everybody with our selection, some better than others. I served in a church in South Carolina where I had to buy my own cassock, so I know mine fits. I am speaking to this because I schedule the lectors and chalice bearers and Eucharistic ministers. Right now I'm working on the next schedule. I'm a little behind, but I'll get it done. I'm not in charge of them. I just schedule them. And I'll explain who is in charge. She's sitting back there smiling. Anyway, the duties are to read the lessons, lead the prayers, serve a chalice, and like I said, sometimes when we're short on priests, a Eucharistic minister can serve the bread. When do we do this? Every Sunday at all 3 services. I have a dedicated group of now 4. I would like to have one more at 7:30. I am very grateful to them because I would not be conscious to try to serve at 7:30. So then totally we have about 40 people that serve in this ministry. We serve at all Eucharist on Sunday. Anytime there's a Eucharist, if it's a wedding, if it's a funeral, we can serve at those services too if the family doesn't have someone that they want to do that. That means serving the chalice, that means reading, that means leading the prayers. I assign for the 3 services on Sunday. Sometimes somebody can't serve, and I'll send out an email and say, please, can you fill in? Can you substitute? If we have a funeral or a wedding and we need volunteers, I do that through email as well. Without email, this job would really be hard. I find it rather easy. To be a Eucharistic minister and reader, lector, the Eucharistic ministers have to be licensed by the bishop, not so much the lectors. The lectors are licensed through the church, through the specific parish. So in order to be a Eucharistic minister, you have to attend a training every 3 years. I really want everybody that serves to attend the training at least every 3 years. Suzanne leads part of it. My husband, Doug Cummins, leads part of it. I lead part of it. But it's more than just how to handle the chalice, although that's a very important part of it. Can you hear now? Okay. Handling the chalice can be tricky, and it does take some training and some practice. But the training is very important, not just because it enables you to have a license, but because it helps you feel more comfortable when you're doing this. What are the qualifications? The same as for any ministry, adult ministry in the church. 16 years of age or older, a contributing member of the parish, regular participants in the activities of the parish. Anything else, Suzanne? Okay. Yeah. And you have to be approved by the rector or Suzanne. Sometimes people think they want to do it until they get up there and they absolutely freeze. So there needs to be some practice, and sometimes people mistakenly think it's easy. It's wonderful, but it's not necessarily easy. This is what, if you come to the, what's it called, Dan, when we have all the ministries around? Ministry fair. When you come to the ministry fair, this will be on one of the tables. If you or somebody you know thinks they might be interested, have them come sign up. And then I will be in touch with them, and they can talk to one of the priests, and we'll see if this is an appropriate service for you. Ministry fair, Stewardship Sunday. No, ministry fair, sorry. When I can breathe better, I can think better. Are there any questions about this? Things you've always wanted to ask somebody, what are they doing up there and why, or how do I do it? Anything? If you have any questions, my name is Jackie Brandley. I'm in the church directory. Contact Megan, and she'll put you in touch with me. Dan?
Thank you very much, Jackie. That is a wonderful ministry. If you feel like you would love to be a part of the Eucharist, it's an amazing, different perspective when you're up front, when you're involved with it, when you're able to serve other people. Reading the Word is very powerful. It's an amazing way to connect. Sure.
When I am serving a person the chalice, I was in a church in South Carolina when Bishop Robinson was consecrated, and there was a lot of division in that church. But when they came to the altar rail and I gave them the chalice, everybody was welcome. Everybody is welcome here. Sometimes I will serve someone who is so happy and is so joyful and grateful. Sometimes I'll serve someone who is so sad they are crying. It's all kinds of people, but it is such an unbelievably moving experience.
And it gets you connected with a wonderful community of people who are also serving that way. So I can tell you, it kind of feels like you're on the team. You know, it's like, I'm on the clergy team. You got the people in the audience, but then we're making it happen. And you come across circumstances, a wide variety of circumstances where you have to make kind of a game call. Like, what are we going to do? And we work together and we make it happen. So I really encourage you that is a fun ministry. It's a wonderful ministry to get in contact with. And so those are the 3 ministries we're highlighting today. I encourage you to come for the next several weeks because we will have at least 3 or 4 presenters every week talking about their ministries. It'll give you a broad perspective, and then if you happen to miss one, you'll be able to see them on our YouTube archives as well. So thank you all very much for your respective ministries in our church, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your breakfast. Thank you.